Oh, I tell you what, a lot of a lot of things going on in wrestling this
Yeah.
week. I mean, we could sit here and we could talk about WWE, we could talk about NXT, we could talk about Keith Lee taking both titles this week.
What a thing,
Okay.
you know? I mean,
We could talk about ROH. We could talk about New Japan. We could talk about anything that we want to. But let me tell you what. I don't want to. Because the only thing that I want to talk about is World League Wrestling's very first night back in 5 months since all this COVID went down last night at the Race Wrestling Arena in Troy, Missouri. What a night of wrestling for us. Wow. I'm going to tell you what, that was a packed, it wasn't really a packed house.
right. It was
There was a lot going on. People, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I'm telling you, last night there were people thinking that the door to wrestling in Missouri was going to open back up again. But in my opinion, humbly biased maybe, we kicked the door open
Oh,
right off the hinges. The fans were incredible. The show that happened was as well incredible. It was a great night all the way around. We may not have had a full house, but like you said, everything that we could fill was filled. We had as many fans as we could have, and everybody seemed to have a wonderful time.
yeah, we were very, and I got to tell you this. The company itself, we had hand sanitizer out, sort of. We had that's another story. I'm not even going to go into. We had masks available. The chairs were apart; they weren't together like in the past.
Right.
The wrestlers all and staff all were tested before the event. It all had tests in the last week or two for symptoms.
That's
COVID.
right.
Temperatures taken. We did everything that could possibly happen that we could to keep everybody safe and sound, so that this event could go off without a hitch, and it did. It did. I see everything lit up here. Austin, Sarge, Steve. Who am I missing here? I see you all. I see you all.
That's right. We see all of you.
But
What a night. I can't, CT. I can't.
there's so many things that we could talk about. I want to just mention the return of Superstar Steve.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you what happened last night because I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to wait for TV. But Superstar Steve returns, has a match, calls out the World League Wrestling heavyweight champion Derek Stone. Called him out.
And Derek Stone accepting the challenge.
Well, of course.
He wanted to fight right then and there.
The match
No
happened.
spoilers, folks, but
no spoilers.
that was two men getting into a big fight.
And how about Camaro Jackson? What a powerhouse is he? Last night, he was a monster.
I'll tell you what, that is a great foundation for an empire to be built on right there. It just shows how strong the empire is right now. That's the only way I know how to say it. I mean, you got Derek Stone, the world champion. You got John Webb, multi-time champion, tag team champion, world champion,
John
junior
Webb was
heavyweight
our
champion.
first junior champion.
That's right. And a defender of those titles. He held them for long, long amounts of time, folks.
Oh, yeah.
And you got Camaro Jackson, who's very new to the company, but has most definitely made a big, big splash.
Oh, without a doubt. without a doubt. Came into the company as a tag team, and now is finding fantastic success. He did well as a singles wrestler. I'm not real fond of the T-shirt he was wearing last night, though.
Well, you know, the Empire likes to make their statements. I don't know if that's a spoiler or...
I don't know. But wearing a T-shirt that says, "I broke Leland's neck."
And you know that's gotta chafe.
That pushed some buttons.
That's right.
I guarantee you that pushed some buttons.
Yeah.
I think that it's not an if. I think it's a when we see the Legacy back in the ring. But I think that I can guarantee you, I would bet, I'll put money on it that Leland goes after him.
Oh, they're definitely going to cross paths again at some point.
It's going to happen.
Yes. I am 100% agreeance with, and honestly, I don't know if there's a referee to contain a situation.
We might have to have a lumberjack for that one.
I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. It might at least keep things in the ring.
I don't know. Can you imagine trying to hold the Legacy back, much less just the Legacy, much less both of them at the same time?
Tall order. Tall order to hold either one of them back. Yeah, I've reffed both of them multiple times, and when they're on fire, they're on fire, folks. There's usually not a whole lot of holding back. There's good chance you're going to get run over if you're in the way.
Oh, without a doubt. And I do not want to be in the way of a pissed off Legacy.
No, not at all. But, you know, guess who's probably going to get that job?
I would give it to Elaney. Because how was Elaney taking charge in that ring last night?
Didn't she, though? You know, she makes the fans and the company proud every time she steps in that ring.
I think she's doing very well. Our female referee, who is actually a trainee at the Harley Race Wrestling Academy, training to be a wrestler herself, pulling double duty for us, and working as a referee. And you know, that's actually that's an attribute of the Harley Race Wrestling Academy, is when you go through it, you learn the business, and that means being a referee too.
Yeah, you know, the thing that stands out the most to me about Elaney is that she's in there refereeing matches and keeping the law and order, the rules straight. Mm-hmm. But through all of it, you can see that she'd rather be in there mixing it up, and she, I truly believe she would take a match against Camaro Jackson. I bet she would. I mean, she does not know the term back up. She doesn't know the term retreat. No. It's a truly great thing to watch. All this young talent.
Unfortunately, she is the only female training right now at the academy, and we don't have a ladies division, a women's division right now. I would like to see, and I'd put a call out right now. I'd like to say to all the females out there, if you want to wrestle, now's the time. Get on board. Get in there. Get in the academy. Get to training. And you know what? Let's pull that title back out. Because right now, Lucy Mendez is the women's champion.
And she kind of locked it down at Night of Champions, and
that's it.
We haven't seen it since.
No.
You know, I know that Elaney would love to challenge her for that title, but you know, as of currently, she's not even been able to wrestle other women to earn a shot at the title. Yeah. Which makes Lucy rather unassailable. Well. So, you know.
But for that, Mac, Lucy is a fine wrestler and a great competitor, has been all over. And for her to have that title right now is still an honor for us to have her hold that title anyways. You know, it's an honor for us as a company for her to be that ladies champion right now.
Yeah, no knock on Lucy.
No. So that'll.
But if you want to change that, ladies, and you want to see more women represented, like my cohort said,
Yeah.
get up there,
Get
get in that ring, and start your dream.
That being said, real quick, big thank you to our sponsors.
Hey, I
World
remember
League
that.
Wrestling, Jim Trineri Ford in Moscow Mills, Jim Trineri Chevrolet in Troy, Impact Digital Design, CT Harrison Business Solutions, and Traveling East Productions. And when I mention those, I feel like I'm self-serving, and I don't care.
I mean, if you point to me, I will say CT Harrison Business
I'll do that.
Solutions
From
and
now on,
Traveling
you
East
say that.
Productions.
Okay, from now on, you do that. That way it's not so self-serving. And even though my ego is quite large, I'm okay with it. But, hey. Anyhow, that being said, also, today's show, a former junior heavyweight champion, former tag team champion,
That's
Jayden
right.
Dominic Rose. We're going to give him a call here in just a second, and we're going to visit with him for a little while and talk about his in-ring career. We're going to talk about what got him in. We're going to talk about his time with Harley,
Exactly.
and I'd like to really talk about him, the way he stepped away for a while recently and then has just returned himself, and what was going through his mind during that time. What took him away? What transpired in the time that he was gone for him to come back with this
A whole
I don't
new
want to say a
attitude.
change. I don't want to say. I mean, the whole change of attitude is something, but for him, when I look at him now, it's more like he seems rejuvenated. You know what I mean? It's like it's not just an attitude. It's he just seems fresh. He seems rejuvenated. His mind is in a different place, and I'd like to discuss that.
Sure. I mean, I personally have really enjoyed the change of heart or the new attitude.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, let's, without further ado, why don't we give him a little holler? Well, he doesn't seem to be on, he doesn't seem to be on there. So he doesn't want to answer us right now.
Ah.
Let's try it again. Oh, JDR. There it goes. And there it is. Jayden Dominic Rose. Greetings. Greetings and salutations, my friend.
Yeah, I know some guy that used to say that all the time.
Who?
Dan Geyer.
Oh, I don't want to sound like Dan Geyer. I'm sorry.
I just flat out tell you, I can't sound like Dan Geyer.
Nobody could sound like Dan Geyer.
That is,
No, Dan Geyer is a one-of-a-kind person.
Nobody wants to sound like. No, I'm kidding. I love Dan. Dan comes
I
through.
mean,
Dan's.
yeah,
he's
if I
awesome.
could, I would. I mean, you know.
I'll make the joke, but I'm not. I can't stay serious on that. Jayden, welcome to the show, buddy.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
We were just discussing. I don't know if you were listening to the program as we started, but we were talking about. Normally we start the show by talking about the week in wrestling, what's been going on, but we just couldn't do it. We couldn't talk about WWE. We couldn't talk about New Japan. We couldn't talk about any of that because we are still so high from last night.
Oh yes. Yeah, I was sitting
what a show.
backstage for that. Say that one again.
I said, what a show.
Absolutely. I was sitting backstage watching everything going on and everything, and we have a lot of great talent that is coming up. Not counting, you've got, the Empire, those guys, whatever. Well, that's another conversation.
We will get to that in a little bit because I've got something to bring up on that. And
do we have to? I don't really want to. Do we have to do that?
yes, because there's something you need to know. And I feel like I like stirring the pot, and I like being an instigator.
Oh, thanks.
So I'm going to do this. But before we get to that, I would like to sit down and let's discuss what brought JDR to the table of wrestling. What brought you to wrestling?
So, where do I start? Long time ago on a stormy night back in... I'm joking.
Oh, my God.
So, making a long story short, I've always been a lifelong wrestling fan, as most of the people that watch wrestling now or in the ring now. One day I decided that I was done kind of wasting money in school. No offense. Stay in school, get your education, then do wrestling. But I was done wasting time and decided to give Harley's a call. Started and haven't really looked back.
Huh. So, and that took you to the Harley Race Wrestling Academy?
It did. They actually had a show in Sedan, Kansas, which is a little bitty mark of a town in southeastern Kansas that I'm from, and went to a show, met Leland, met Harley, met a couple other guys, passed some information along. They got in touch to me, and then it was going on. Moved to Eldon, started training there for a little while, then came up to Troy. Yeah. Wonderful joys of wrestling.
Right. So you walk in the door in Eldon, right?
Yep.
And you start. Well, who were the trainers at that time?
So it was mixed between Leland, Jack Gamble, and I guess he's Simon Grimm now. Simon Gotch from WWE. Yeah, those were the three guys that had the biggest influence on training me.
Oh, so you got to work with Gotch, huh?
Yes, I did. He on more than one occasion he turned me into a pretzel during practice. So.
Oh, he's a grappler. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And it's funny that you mentioned Gotch and we talk about him being a grappler because I have been down at the arena during training and I've watched you turn some of these trainees into a pretzel. So is that kind of the payback?
I'm not going to say that I've never done that, but I do like doing that. It's a little fun for me. I like seeing that look on somebody's face when you put them in something and they're just like, this is really painful and uncomfortable and I don't want to be here anymore. It's like, yeah, I know. It's fun, isn't it? Yeah, hey.
So
good times.
One of our newest guys coming in to train, Austin, asked the question, what is your favorite style of wrestling?
That is a mix between lucha and British style. I love watching guys like Zack Sabre Jr. and Pete Dunne, where they can combine heavy strikes with grappling and a touch of flying if they need to.
Okay.
Yeah. Austin says it's his turn. You should pretzel him.
You know what? Name a time and place. All you got to do is ask, and I've got no problem with that.
I think it's important in training for these guys to go to the mat and work a mat style wrestling just for the purpose of learning.
It is. It's fun being in the ring with somebody who has more experience than you, where they can show you different things and give you a new way of thinking. Because you might think that you're good, and then you get in the ring with somebody who actually is, and it completely blows your mind. And I'm not saying that I'm good by any stretch of the imagination, but the guys that are just starting that we have, and I heard you talking about Alani earlier, just being in the ring with me, I feel I can show them one or two things, and then they can show the next group that comes in. Right. And they can show the next people, and we can continue to pass on knowledge the way how Leland and Gamble and Simon taught me.
Right. No, it's important. It's very important. Austin says he'll be there Tuesday. So
Looking forward to it as I sit here and crack my knuckles. Yeah.
Yeah, Sarge just popped in for a question. He wants to know who your favorites were when you were growing up and when you were first getting into the business.
I am a diehard Sting fan. I have been a Sting fan since ever. I was a 90s kid growing up, so my main time watching wrestling was cruiserweights. I loved watching Ray and Eddie and Jericho and Malenko go out and just kill it every night. You can keep your Hogans that did 15 minutes of posing and, a 5-minute boring match. You give me Eddie and Ray for, 10 minutes, that's going to blow the roof off the house any day of the week.
Eddie was something special, wasn't he?
Beyond special. Special doesn't even scratch the surface.
Oh, I miss him so much.
Oh, yeah. I took for granted a lot of guys whenever I was younger, but now that I'm older and I've gone back and I've rewatched things, you start seeing how good people really are. Mm-hmm. A guy like Eddie, who it didn't matter the fact that he was less than 6 foot, probably 210 at the most, and could wrestle anybody, and it was believable. And you wanted
that match!
He could
that
fight.
Match with Brock.
Yeah, great example. His matches with Brock, his matches with JBL, his matches with Kurt Angle, all of those were so different, and yet never once do you go, yeah, he's kind of out of place. He doesn't fit wrestling that guy. It didn't matter.
No, he made it work.
Exactly. There are a few guys in wrestling that can make it work against anybody, and he's one of them. He can do it. Shawn can do it. Kurt Angle can do it. Jericho can do it. There's a lot of guys, or not that many guys, that can just wrestle any and everyone and have it be good.
So, what was it like training under the tutelage of Harley? For you, personally?
So, that's a little mix of a question. It's a little mix of a question. You've had Jack Gamble and John Webb on here, and I know you guys have talked to Liesl several times, where they came in way before me, and they actually got to be more hands-on with Harley, where Harley could actually take them and really show them things. Mm-hmm. I got more of the voice of Harley. So there will be many times in practice where we're doing things, and he will, nah, kid, don't do that, or something like that. Or we're cutting promos, and he'll give you the little wink of like, all right, that was good. Or he'll have you restart it. Or, if your look's not right, he'll tell you that your look's not right. You need to lose weight. All right, he'll tell you that. He was very dry.
You got more the words of wisdom from him.
Yeah, I got the words of wisdom more than just the action. I will, sorry, but slight story. One of my first days practice, I maybe a week or two. Harley spent a lot of time in the office area at that time, and I'm standing by the ring, and everybody's kind of doing their stuff, and he comes out and starts talking to people, and for a split second, I forgot where I was, and in my head, I'm just like, oh, holy crap, that's Harley Race. And then I had to wheel myself back in before I actually said something and made a goober out of myself. But one of those few times I always remember.
Wow.
It is truly easy. It was truly easy to feel like you were being a goober talking to Harley, too. I mean, because, well, you've been there. You know what I'm saying. It's,
totally. Yeah.
This guy beat the crap out of Ric Flair. This guy.
Yeah.
For me, it's a true legend, that stood the test of time for so long, and the respect level is always there, no matter who you talk to. The confirmations that you get about the knowledge he can give off and how much he really knew. As even you and me, he forgot more than we've been able to learn in the time we've been around.
Oh, absolutely.
It's priceless to actually have had that time, voice time or in-ring time with him.
And there are men and women that are on main shows, headlining pay-per-views and events that still will sit and watch Harley matches and go, oh, I can steal that. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. That's a good way how to do something. Let me take that. And they're main eventing pay-per-views. So he's always got something to give. Even though that he's gone, he still has a lot of knowledge to pass on.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You were actually a WLW Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, I was.
399 days.
Ugh. Break my heart, why don't you?
Well. So, take us back to that night with the title when you first got it. Who your opponent was, who you wrestled, and take us back to that night.
So I've actually got to take you back a little bit further than that.
Okay.
I don't know if we still do it. If not, we definitely need to bring it back. We used to have the Harley Race Invitational Tournament. The winner of the tournament got a shot at any title at any time. So I won it. Yay me. I believe John Webb was champion. Him and I have never really cared for one another. I think we've been friends for like maybe 5 minutes in the ring, but that's about it. He was champion. I saw an opportunity and took the title from him. And very few times in wrestling have I actually sat there and been like, I'm kind of speechless. But pinning him, having the title handed over to me, I couldn't have been happier. I can finally sit and say that it's like, hey, look, Mom, I'm a champion. You guys can't deny me now. I'm going to be on the poster for the show. You can't take this from me. So it was a great feeling.
Whether you've got a title or not, in my opinion as a fan, JDR is a champion anyways, and it's not just for, that you won the Junior Heavyweight Championship, or it's more of the fact for me, it's more of your wrestling ability, the way you are in the ring, and also the way you are outside the ring. You're one of those guys that comes back to the company in training and is constantly working with the new crop. You're working with the young lions. You have helped to bring them up, and that to me makes you a champion.
I appreciate that. I think it was Shawn Michaels a long time ago that said, I want to give you a show that you'll never forget. And I have always looked at wrestling as, even if the entire show and all the other matches are bad, because you've watched shows before and cards before where the show is just not good. Mm-hmm. But if I can entertain for those few minutes, and at the end of the show, you look at it and go, well, the show was crap, but Jayden's match was fantastic. That's what I want. I want to entertain you. I want you to spend your money on a ticket and know that even if everything else is garbage, the match that I have is going to entertain you, and you're going to feel like you got your money's worth. That's how I think about every match. It's
your job as a wrestler to steal the show anyways.
It is. It really is. And I think that gets, even though we are in a time to where you want to go out and just kind of do things just to be entertaining and you're not trying to tell a story or anything like that, like, there's so much other things that you can do of, even if your match isn't that great, before the matchup, maybe you're talking to fans and you're signing an autograph, or after the matchup, whenever they're meeting you, whenever you're leaving, or you're at the gas station down the road, you can make a night better for people just by the way how you interact before and after the show too, not just how you are during.
Right. Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit. You disappeared for a little bit on us. You before that happened, you had aligned yourself briefly with Stacey O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
And while she was the women's champion, in helping her hold on to that title, and then something happened. You were just gone, and something happened during that time. And I'd like to go back and what took you away? What made you step out, for one thing?
I burned out. I being champion and wanting to defend the title and doing things, you get complacent very quickly, and you try to push yourself to another level, but sometimes your ego gets the best of you. And I was feuding with Demarius at the time, and great young wrestler, and he got the better of me, and he did. He was the better man that night, and something inside of me knew that it was time to step away for just a little bit, to recharge the battery, to come to an understanding of what happened to me, what went wrong. Sometimes you take a big loss and you have to go home and watch the tape and understand what you did, where you can improve, how you can come back, how you can be stronger, how you can be better. And I needed to take that time away. And I did, kept watching, kept trying to understand what was going on. And eventually I felt in me that I had something left to prove.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back now.
Yeah, but I mean, you can sit there and say that you had something to prove, but the facts are facts. You came back with a completely different attitude than when you left. Something must have stirred inside you. Something brought you back with a whole brand new attitude where you were not the person that you were that left.
So to go behind the curtain for a minute, no BS, no anything. It was watching the Young Lions. It was sitting and talking to some of them before a show. I came up and I was just gonna interact with everybody. You know, I sat and talked to them for a little while, sat and talked to the guys, and I was in the ring beforehand, and I was just kind of messing around with some of the young guys, and seeing their passion for wrestling, knowing that they were just asking questions and they wanted to know something and to see something, and to see that I could give them a little piece of information. It sparked something in me where I needed to come back. It was that was the light that I needed to really bring myself back. And I saw it. And why I came back with a new attitude, it was sitting and watching guys like Derek and Camaro and John kind of just run roughshod over everything. And they are guys that have been around for years now. Derek's been around for like 87 years. So, you know, he's been there. He's been there and done that. I mean, he's Captain Caveman for a reason. You know, John Webb has been, you know, the scum of the earth for a very long time. And Camaro, I like Camaro. Camaro is a cool guy. The dude's a tank. But he aligned himself with just a bad group of people. And I was watching them doing things and holding these young guys down and treating the Moduses and Coltons and Raheems of the world, just kind of treating them like garbage. Like, no, somebody needs to step up. Somebody strong needs to step up and fight the Empire. And I know that I'm not going to be able to fight them alone. That's why I'm going to need help to do so. But I had to come back and help defend the younger guys, because they're the guys that are going to continue the company whenever we're gone.
I mean, doesn't it just do your heart good to see this new crop of guys coming up? You know,
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Hellos? Can you hear us? I think we lost him.
We might have lost volume or something there.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not sure.
there you are.
There he
Okay,
is.
There it is. I was asking.
There we go.
I was asking, doesn't it do your heart good to see this new crop of guys, the Moseses, the Raheems, the Coltons, the Austins, you know, the Shawns? I mean, doesn't it?
It is.
I mean, these guys are coming out of the academy and hitting the ring and just, you know, Colton, Theron Vaught, all of them.
Yeah, all of them are great young talents. I mean, you name Colton and Moses and Sean, who are great guys. And I know not going to give any spoilers from what happened the other night, but Colton delivered a fantastic promo. I mean, he's so passionate. Like you can hear him whenever he talks. He is so passionate about wrestling and what he believes in. And I don't understand how you couldn't be energized by that. And you've got, on the other side of the coin, you've got guys like Stefan and Raheem, who, even though they're unbelievably annoying and slightly obnoxious, they're still great young talents that haven't even scratched their potential yet. So I am looking forward to spreading the knowledge that I have with them and stepping in the ring with them and seeing if I still have what it takes to, hang with young boys.
Right, and not even to mention, and I forgot, and I'm sorry, but you even got ZC Hendricks, Elaney. This is.
I have to put her over big time. I have helped train Elaney. She has wrestled around with me during practices and whatnot, and I don't take it easy on her. And I told her flat out, like, I'm not gonna. To put this in lack of a better term, I'm not going to treat you like a girl. Like, I'm not. Like, if I'm going to pick up and body slam everybody else, you're going to get picked up and body slam. You're going to have to get the same tough skin that everybody else has. And she has never once backed down. She will hit me harder than anybody else. She will go further than anybody else. I have tried to break her just to see where her limit is, and she doesn't stop. And that is something that is just so great to see, especially from a young woman. Just the ability to push past everything else and try to live her dream.
Absolutely, and what a great job, also that she does in the ring right now as an official.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Best official we have.
I'll agree to that.
Yeah, that's the truth. You, my friend, are a whole another topic that we're not going to get to on this. We're going to talk about that in private.
Yeah, we're not going to air that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one. That is not.
I'll be there Tuesday too. I'll be there Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later.
Well, you've mentioned it already like 4 or 5 times, so I've got to bring up John Webb for a second.
Great. Awesome.
I wanted to have the sound bite, and I just didn't have time to get it together. But in our interview with John Webb, well, first of all, you guys were briefly in a group together for a brief time, yes?
Not to my recollection. I was a part of another group, Black Hand Warriors, and we were constantly feuding with him and Jack Gamble. So we spent a lot of time in the ring together, unfortunately.
Well, see, his words, and I'm going to paraphrase here.
Oh, boy.
About you was that he carried you.
Sorry. Continue on. I'm going to let you finish.
No, that's the gist of the whole thing, that he carried you.
Now, not to continue to try and stir the pot or anything, but... he also said that when you returned and basically helped Colton and Moses out, that you made the wrong decision and that there's
consequences.
There's consequences to making the wrong decision. So, and that's kind of a paraphrase too, but it's pretty close to what he said.
Yeah.
You know what? I said, and I hear you guys giggling and whatnot, and that's cute and everything, but the fact of the matter is this. Webb, and I hope that he's listening. If he's not, I know somebody's going to tweet him later. That's the only way how anybody gets in contact with him. So if he wants to say something to me, he can say it to my face. I'm not a very hard guy to find. He knows where I am. He knows when I'm going to be on the card, but he never wants to say anything. He wants to go hide behind Captain Caveman's skirt and Camaro, which is fine. I like Camaro. I've already taken out Camaro. He was my first victim as soon as I came back.
Yes.
But he wants to go hide behind Derek and everything. If he's got something to say, he can come say it to my face. Him and I have feuded for years. We're never going to see eye to eye. There are a few guys that I know that I'm never going to see eye to eye in wrestling in. And he is one of them. So if we want to sit here and we need to go out back and handle this like two guys, we can go out back and we can handle this like two guys. You want to meet in the ring, we can meet in the ring. You want to meet in the back, in the locker room, we can meet in the locker room. Go outside, we can go outside. I don't care. I had a few goals coming back that I wanted to do. And even if the Empire doesn't fall, John Webb will not be a pillar in that Empire forever. Because I will be the one that I guarantee will take him out.
Strong words.
You know,
I
I remember back at. I'm sorry. Go ahead, boss.
Sorry to cut you off. It's not an empty threat. It's not. I'm not one of those guys that likes to throw out a bunch of empty threats. I did that before, and look what it cost me. It cost me the junior title because I thought I was a lot better than what I was. I know how good I am now. I know how good John Webb is in the ring. I know that I'm better than he is. He will fall. I promise that. This is not an empty threat. It's a guarantee. He will fall.
Well, I don't think that this needs to happen outside. I don't think it needs to happen in the back. I think the fans need to see this. I think it needs to happen in front of everybody.
Bring it in front of everybody. I'll help set up the seats. I don't care. If we want to sit here and I had a strap match against Jack Gamble, and guess what? I beat him. I have had no disqualification street fights against Leland. That's fine with me too. I don't care what type of match, when it is, where it is. It doesn't matter. Let him take the Goon Squad. Let him bring the Goon Squad out with him. I've got my partners and I've got my friends too. He's not the only one that has a few connections. So, bring it. I'll be more than happy to face him again.
I would pay good money to see that. As a fan. Even though I'm at ringside all the time already, I would still pay good money to see that.
To say, definitely, if I'm not reffing, I'm sitting in a chair and watching.
Yeah.
You guys earlier said about me how I came back and I had a brand new attitude. I sat at home and I watched the program. And he did too. He lost the title. He decided to flip out. And now he's running around with a guy that beat him for the title, which makes no logical sense. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Yeah, but he got a brand new attitude. And now he feels like he's better than the guys. Now he feels like he's better than the young boys that are coming up. Now he feels like he's better than the fans. Nobody's better than the fans. The fans are the number one person. They are the number one people in wrestling. Without them, we've got nothing. But he thinks that he's this all high and mighty person. It's like, oh, look at me. I got to do certain things. Look at me. I got to go to other places that you didn't. Yeah, that's fine. That's cute. That's dandy. Yeah, now what? What have you done since then, huh? Where have you been since then? Nowhere.
And he sure likes to keep that chair with him.
Yeah, he can bring the chair. You know what? Bring the chair. That's fine. You want to bring the chair, you want to bring ladders, tables, not saying that there's going to be a TLC. Drop that off the table. But if you want to bring chairs, hey, I'm down for that too. If you want to bring the chairs, bring the chairs. That's fine. Trust me, at least one of those fans will be more than happy to give me a chair that I can wrap around John Webb's head.
You'd
Not a
probably
problem.
you'd probably get several of them given
Yeah,
to you.
probably. Yeah, there would be a line of people waiting and being like, here, take mine, you can hit him with it. Take mine, you can hit him with it.
You know what? It reminds me of that scene. You remember? Did you ever watch the movie Airplane? Everybody's got to seen that.
Yes.
Okay, where they're all lined up in the plane.
Calm down now.
Calm down now, and they're shaking her, and then the next person comes along, and that's what it would be like with the chairs. They just stand in line, hand you a chair. As each one comes up, they'd hand it to you, pow, and go on. The next one would hand it to you, pow. That's how I see that playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. There'd be people lining up and taking turns. They would be coming back around. They'd be like, you know what? I just want him to shut up so much. Just making a giant circle. They're like, hey, this is like the third time that I've seen you. Yeah, he said something stupid years ago. Let's just take him out.
As Sarge has already offered you his chair.
Yeah, Sarge offered you a
Thank
chair.
you. I appreciate that. I will wrap it around his head, and then I will sign it for you, and then you can just take it home with you. There.
Oh.
We'll do that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what we should. You know what we should do? What we should do is whichever chair it is, we should have you sign it, and then we can raffle the chair off for charity.
There we go.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
There
There
you
you go. The folks in the front office there at WLW, you heard my suggestion. There you have it.
Yep. Go ahead. Just make it happen.
Yeah. As we wrap things up here and get moving, what is in the future for JDR? What do you have your eye on anything in particular? I mean, other than righting some wrongs that we've already discussed, what do you have your eye on anything? Are you would you like to go back for the junior title again? Would you like to go after the world title, the heavyweight championship? Which I mean, what's on your brain these days?
So to be 100% honest with you, there are a few goals that I have. One of them is to knock the Empire down.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be me. It can be anyone else. There is an army of guys that are sitting in the back that would love to take them down. As long as they fall, I'm happy. I'm not a selfish person when it comes to those type of things. The only one that I ask is that John Webb is mine. Nobody is allowed to touch him except for me.
Okay then.
And the other, well, I'm not going to start anything, but I will say there's something that I desire, and that needs to return home. So, as long as he keeps it nice and shiny for me, yeah, I'll get it again.
Oh, the junior, huh?
I didn't say those words.
Okay.
I didn't say those words at all.
Okay. I hope Sean is listening, because I'm hoping that was that goes in that direction. That would be wow. That what would just I mean, God, I got to put it out there since I just said it. I can almost envision a match between you and Sean. That would be an amazing match. What a matchup.
Very true.
You know, hypothetically speaking, if I wanted that title, just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Just saying. I've watched Sean in the ring. I enjoy Sean's work. I see a few holes in his game that he needs to develop. I can exploit those. Not a problem. I have more in-ring experience than he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a great champion, but I don't think he's not to boost my ego or anything, but I don't think he's up to my level yet. But you know what? Maybe he's gonna surprise me. Maybe. Just maybe.
Well, here's a question for you that I've started asking everybody.
Yep.
What is your dream match? Could be anybody right now, not just WLW, but what is your dream match?
So there are two answers to this question.
Okay.
One is Pac from AEW. I
Oh.
have been a fan of him for years.
Yes. Yes.
He is one of the main reasons why I got into wrestling. I watched a match between him and Ricochet from Dragon Gate years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And after that match, I sat and went, yep, I'm doing it. I'm being in wrestling. Yep, let's go. And the next day I signed up. I have been a fan for it for years. So that is one of my all-time dream matches. The one that is near and dear to my heart that I hope one day comes through, and we talked about him earlier, is Simon Gotch. He was one of my teachers. I looked at him as a friend while he was here. He was a guy that after he left, I still talk to periodically. He was the guy that I had my very first practice match with. Right? He was in the ring with me the first time before anybody else. And I want to have that match with him to show him, like, look, I am one of your students. I have come this far. Let me show you what I have done, because nothing says thank you to a master than his student meeting his level and then pushing him to a limit. There's no greater respect that a student can show their teacher.
You know, what kind of a strategy would you have to have for Gotch, though? I mean, on the mat, he's unmatchable.
He is. Reckless abandonment.
I get it. I get that.
He's great on the mat. He can do every style. I mean, he's got a counter for guys that high fly. He can out wrestle the guys that think that they're wrestlers. He can out fight the guys that think they're fighters. Like I've just rolled with him in an amateur wrestling style, and he's smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really gonna have to sit and be creative and come up with a strategy. But I've watched his matches. I know what he can do.
Well, you talk about Pac. You know, now here's a guy who can fly, he can wrestle, and can knock you the heck out. How would you go against a guy like that? Because that is a little guy. Well, I say little, but you know, for in the broad scheme of sizes, you know, average sizes in wrestling these days, he's a smaller guy, but he's jacked.
Absolutely.
And the dude can just knock the thunder out of you. So how would you wrestle a guy like Pac?
So they say in fighting, sometimes you just got to bite down on your mouth guard and just kind of throw punches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to have to bite down on my mouth guard and just throw punches. I'm not going to be able... He is far too experienced and far too wise and beyond me in every area. And that's not me being negative on myself. It's just a fact. It would be something of, I'm just going to have a puncher's chance. And everything that he throws out, I'm going to have to take. And I'm going to have to push past it and go one more round. It's going to have to be a Rocky situation. I just got to make it to the end. If I can make it to the end, I'm good, but I got to make it there first.
Right. Man, that'd be a heck of a match. I would like to see.
I can dream, can't I? I can dream.
So, one of the things I also asked people towards the end of the show is give us one good Harley story. I know there's probably
some of the Harley stories I have heard I can't say on the air, so a couple of those I have to keep to myself. I only got kind of the words, and I didn't get to experience some of the being in the car with them and getting chopped because you fell asleep in the passenger seat, which I've heard about several times. Yeah, I've heard that story so many times of people sitting in the car with them riding down the road, and they'll fall asleep in the passenger seat, and all of a sudden you get hit, and you wake up and just don't fall asleep. Okay, it's your job in the passenger seat to keep the driver awake, and Harley taught you a lesson. So I've got that one. There was one time, I don't remember what camp it was that I was at. We were cutting promos, and I'm in the ring, standing above everybody, and I say what I need to say, and I get out of the ring, and he kind of pulls me aside, and he just looks at me and just goes, "That was a damn good promo." And coming from a guy like Harley, that means a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a promo expert, and for him to actually give somebody a credit of that was good, there's not many other gold standards that you can have at that point.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well, any last minute plugs or shameless plugs you want to do? Social media, merch, whatever.
Yeah, there actually is. Go follow me on Twitter at Jayden Dominic Rose. I will randomly post things about anime and wrestling periodically, and random stories about my cats because, well, I like cats. Let's see, what else? I would say, go watch the product, go yay, World League. Everybody knows that. If you're not watching, what's wrong with you? This is to kind of go to a little on topic and off topic at the exact same time. With everything that's going on in the world, this is not a public service announcement for me, but whatever. Just remember that everyone is a person. Like, we can all just not be an a-hole to each other for 10 minutes. I would like to get on Twitter every now and then and scroll through and not see people going off on other people for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
We just be nice for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, all I'm asking for. Try to have an understanding for everybody and everything. So
yeah, it's okay to disagree. You don't have to be rude to each other about it.
It is. And I don't remember where I heard this. I heard this a long time ago. But if you are angry with something and you really want to say that you hate something, try to understand from that point of view. Like, at least I don't like things. I don't. I'm giving away one of my weaknesses. I don't like them at all. But I understand them. I understand the value of having them. I understand the people that, have them as pets. So I don't like them personally, but I at least understand why they exist. Just try to have an understanding for other people. Try to hear their side of the story. Try to see where they stand. And then you can make your opinion.
Makes sense to me. JDR, thanks, man. Appreciate having you on the show. Let's, as we get down the line and see what's in store for you and what happens, maybe we'll get you back on, and maybe you'll get your wish, and as soon as the Empire goes down, we'll get you back on the show, and you can toot your horn about it.
You know what? I'm gonna save that one. And I got a few celebration things, and I don't drink, but I'm gonna be popping bottles. So,
well, okay then.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of fans will with you as well.
Yes, but guys, thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody in World League, everybody that is listening, thank you for all the support. Every wrestler enjoys it, even if you love us or you hate us. You guys are the reason why we do what we do.
Amen.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Good talking to you.
See ya.
Jayden Dominic Rose, everybody. What a difference in him.
Right?
And you know what? I'm so glad that we waited all the way to the end, and we actually got through this entire interview until the very end, and he only said it once. We did not have to discuss anime, and we did.
Oh, come on now. That's kind of a sore subject, because I really wanted to ask him.
No.
One Punch Man or Superman?
What? Because I'm going to tell you what, this guy will talk anime all day long. Like, all day. He probably mumbles it in his sleep.
I know very little about it, so I have to just kind of watch on in bewilderment when he does talk about it. So,
Yeah.
I'm an older guy. I don't do the cartoon stuff so much anymore. Not too well read on anime.
No, me either. Did I hear correctly last night? August 8th?
Yes.
August 8th, back at the Race Wrestling Arena for another night of a live,
Incredible.
yeah, live action, man. I'm still feeling it from last night. It was an amazing night. We will be filming for TV again on the 8th, just as we did last night. What a great show last night was, and I'm sure the 8th is going to be just as good, if not better, as we move forward in the year. Finally able to get back together for some wrestling, man. I showed up yesterday. I showed up yesterday at the arena, getting everything ready for the sound and the cameras, and getting everything ready for production, and I couldn't help but walk around with just a grin. I walk in that arena for the first time this week, getting things ready, and I was just like, "Hello, old girl. I sure missed you."
Right. I know that the first time I yelled "Ring the Bell" last night,
What was that?
I had a chill just kind of go up my spine. It was like I came home.
Yeah. No, that's and that's a perfect word for it. And I think I speak for most of the guys in the back too. When the word home is just what it is. There, it's home. So
There's nothing like it in the world. I can't even explain the feelings that I had last night. It was, and everything the way it went.
yeah,
Just it honestly, we were all blessed because we got a chance to be and do what we are and do.
And we did get a chance to talk with Sarge, and hopefully next show there will be hopefully another tailgate.
Hopefully.
We get those going again, and that'll be a lot of fun. That's always great fun. I have no idea yet who's going to be on the show next Sunday. Maybe next Sunday you and I maybe could just sit and talk wrestling, man. You know what I mean? Actually have conversations.
We could do that.
I feel like we could. I think we've evolved. I feel
We've amplified.
I haven't grown up. We have amplified. Yeah, that's it. We've amplified. I tell you, what a great day to have Jayden Dominic on. That was absolutely amazing. Again, big thank you to our sponsors: Jim Chineri Ford in Moscow Mills, Jim Chineri Chevrolet in Troy, Impact Digital Designs,
CT Harrison Business Solutions, and Traveling East Productions.
It feels so good to hear somebody else say it. And of course, all the great fans of World League Wrestling, because if it wasn't for that, there would be no Amplify. If it wasn't for you, there would be no World League Wrestling. If it wasn't for you, I just don't know. I'd be...
Yep. I mean, as long as you guys are going to be willing to come and watch and get excited, we're going to be willing to come and wrestle and entertain you. I mean, it's the perfect relationship, folks.
Absolutely. We're out of here. We're going to go. I got to get something to eat. I'm hungry. So, and you're doing fried chicken.
Yes.
You're going to KFC.
That's right.
Okay, you have
I
a good
sweated
time.
a lot last night, so it's okay.
Okay, then. That's good. Just remember, guys, we love you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it, and we'll see you next Sunday.